Not too many cars hold legendary status in the Chinese automotive industry, but the XPeng P7 certainly does. It put XPeng on the map, and you see a lot of them on the roads today. So how do you follow up a legend? Well, you create another one, of course. This is Inside China Auto, and this is the all-new XPeng P7. Yes, this is the all-new XPeng P7, and what a way to replace the legend that was the original P7. XPeng's second car, and the one that really put them on the map in terms of sales. It took them over 100,000 units for the first time, and it really holds a special place in XPeng's heart, which is why they've gone all out with this one, really producing a very unique, very distinctive successor. Now, as you may know, XPeng have been doing pretty well the last 9 months, getting over 30,000 units in that time with cars like the Mona M03 and the XPeng P7 Plus, which is a bit longer than this one and more family oriented. I think this is basically XPeng loosening their collar a little bit and saying, you know what? Let's get excitement about the brand again. We're not just family, we can also do something really cool and unique and something representative of the letter X, which kind of really stands out. I think that's what they've done here with the P7. They've made something that's very distinctive and unique, something that's also very aerodynamic at the same time, a drag coefficient of just 0.201 on this car. You can tell, by the way, we've got the sharp front end, super long, slick bonnet, very coupe-like proportions on this car. You'll see that we come along the side here. We get big flared arches down at the back and a roofline that properly tapers off down to that. We'll come on to that in a moment. We also get a very angular windscreen here as well. I think it's about 67 degrees, so very laid back and very jaunty too. Very straight, and then into that coupe body line at the back. We also get a new interpretation of the X-Mart face, as XPeng call it. So we've got these vertical daytime running lamps on there and a big horizontal one all the way across. So it's not quite the X shape that it was before. It's something quite unique, a different take on that. So we also get a light up logo here that's integrated into the design. So it doesn't stick out or jut out to cause a bit more aero problems around here. It's integrated in, so it's super smooth in there. Also on the aero side, we get an active grille down at the bottom around what they call a floating number plate. I think it's just a number plate, to be totally honest with you. And then a black grille, bit of a chin at the bottom of this car. As I said, we do get a really big bonnet on the P7. I've just driven the G7, which is the first XPeng in a long time that came with a frunk. 41 litres on that car. We get 56 litres on this one. So maybe not as large as you might expect for a bonnet as long as this one, but nevertheless, a useful amount of space in there. We also get this black line from the headlamps that comes straight back here and then up to this blacked out A-pillar as well to give you that sort of very chiseled and unique look. You'll see down at the front here, we get 20-inch alloys. Again, super distinctive design. These big flat face silver there combined with black in an X shape. Very Polestar-esque, I would say. Very kind of modern, fresh designs. And they wrap inside them bright orange Brembo brake calipers as well, because this is going to be XPeng's performance car. As I said, it's them letting their hair down. It's loosening their tie. And I think that's what this OX refers to here. They haven't told us what that means, but I think that means because we're going to get dual motors in this one. The P7 Plus only came with a single motor on the back. This one will get a dual motor version, which I think will give it performance of sub 4 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. They haven't given us details, so we don't know exactly anything about power. But what we do know is about range. The entry-level version will get 702 kilometers of range on the CLTC cycle. The longest range version will get 825 kilometers of range, and even the dual motor version will get 750. And when XPeng say it'll get 750, they probably mean it. I've just driven the G7 and we actually equaled or beat the energy efficiency rating of that car. So XPeng much more accurate with their measurements on the energy efficiency of their cars. So again, I would expect the same thing from the P7. Of course, we get these blacked out mirrors with the turquoise light on. That means XNGP, of course, built into this car. It will come with 3 Turing AI chips for 2,250 tops of processing power, very much future-proof to go along with this design. And of course, it's a vision and radar-based system. I can't see actually where the radar is at the front, the millimeter wave radar, but we do get the ultrasonic sensors, of course, for parking, and we get the cameras all down here, all around the side of the car to give you that 360-degree view, and they're low-fit cameras, so they can also adjust in the dark pretty well at the same time. Now, this car does sit on a 5C 800-volt platform, so you'll get super fast charging, something like 486 kilowatt peak charging power. You can add over 500 kilometers of range in just 10 minutes. So again, super impressive, exactly what you'd expect of a car of this stature. Along the side, we get very much the modern interpretation of the original P7 styling. So fairly simple overall, with a bit of kind of scalloping down there at the bottom, just pinched here, and then it gets much larger from the middle of the door. If you've seen the original P7, you'll recognize that bit of the design. Again, it's very, very simple along here, but then you get big chunky haunches. And apart from that adjunct front window there, we then get a really long tail that slopes off all the way to the back. So yeah, this is going to be probably a bit of a performance car, really quite sporty, but not entirely without practicality. I'll show you that at the back. Here at the back, as I mentioned, you've got that really sloping roof line and kind of a reinterpretation of the front design at the back with the vertical lights there and the red one all the way across the back. You'll see we have our active spoiler stuck out at the moment. This car looks really quite interesting. It's a very unique side profile once that kind of slides in and becomes flush with the rest of the design. Is we've also got our XPeng logos in the same color as the car, maybe to try and simplify the design and kind of stop the distraction of badges on the back of it, to really much appreciate the design at the back. And it is quite sporty. We've got sort of adjunct, again, angular design across the bottom, more gloss black plastic. You'll see our autonomous driving turquoise lights down there at the bottom. And of course, we get here aero performance, apparently 25 different areas of aero optimization around the car. Now press this button here and we open up our hatchback rear. So it's not a saloon like the original P7 was. This is an actual hatchback, which is very much the way that XPeng are going at the moment with the Mona M03 and the XPeng P7 Plus. So this is a much more practical car than you would expect. We get 575 litres of space in the back of this car, including a decent chunk there under the boot floor as well. I'm not sure you'll quite get a 20-inch suitcase in there unless it's a slim one, but plenty of space here. That boot goes all the way back there. And of course you can fold down your rear seats 40-60 as well. But unfortunately, no buttons here to allow you to do that. You have to lean forward and pop those down. It's fairly shallow in terms of its height because of course we do get a rear motor on here concealed under the floor there somewhere, but a useful amount of space, and you will get a decent amount of large suitcases in the back of the P7 as well. We also get a large speaker in there as part of a 23 speaker sound system, which I'll come on to when we get inside the car. But yeah, it's just a very unique design, this one that is going to cut a groove on the road. If you're looking to have, let's say, almost a family life, but in a way that is just a bit different. If you want to be a family man and still have a slice of personality, let's put it in a brutal term, then you can do that with the XPeng P7. Now let's check out what they've done with the interior. Now inside the P7, we get a, once again, very futuristic layout, similar in many respects to the standard XPeng designs, but with a few sort of racy flourishes in here. We get a few different materials. We get some real metal here in the doors, including this sort of fingerprint switch here, which apparently, if I press, is customized to the glove box, but you can customize that to do different things. Apparently you can do your heated seats or ventilated seats, things like that inside the car. Now in terms of the sportiness of the design, few features we can talk about. One is this super slim DIN in front of us, this kind of driver information display. Very sleek, slots just underneath this sort of squeezed oval steering wheel here with a few extra features that we don't get on normal XPeng steering wheels. So it's a different design for a start, much more racy on there with a larger boss. We get sort of more physical chunky switches on there, and we get rotary dials. One is to turn on your ADAS, one is to change your driving mode function. If you press it, you can activate boost, which means that we're going to get some pretty decent performance out of the P7. And as you can see, the driving position itself is already pretty cool. This car comes with base cushion extension of, I believe, about 50 millimeters, so it's pretty long, really good tilt as well, and you can get it very low down in the car. So sitting here, I honestly feel like I've kind of gone back in time to a sports car from the 50s. It's got a very interesting sort of image and profile around you with these super straight A-pillars there, very low, large bonnet ahead of you. It does feel sporty, and I'm expecting big things from the way this car is going to perform, which I'm very much looking forward to giving it a go later on in the year. We also, by the way, as well as that screen there, we get our usual 87-inch augmented reality head-up display, co-developed with Huawei. A lot of useful functions on there. You can actually play movies on there as well, so not just your usual driving functions. And of course, you can't watch a movie whilst you're driving. I'm assuming that you can't anyway, but you can actually watch a full movie on there if you really wanted to. I'm not sure you would really find that particularly useful. You might prefer to watch it on what I assume, again, we don't know, is a 15.6-inch screen. Now, maybe you remember the Hi-Fi Z from a couple of years ago, super futuristic, actually similar color to this car as well, the one that we drove. Futuristic car in a way that not many other cars have been, apart from this one. And that one came with this sort of tri-axis screen that could dance and do these very weird performances and things. It's made a comeback here on the XPeng P7. So this is not quite as exciting as it was on the Z, but you can tilt the screen 15 degrees, I believe it is, either way, like that, with your hand, and you can tilt it 10 degrees up and 10 degrees down at the same time. And apparently you can do that mechanically as well. I haven't worked out how to do it yet in the system. I tried talking to the car, it didn't turn it towards me, but I think in the production version it will do. One thing to point out, by the way, I've just spotted 18.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This is a dual motor version, because if you go into the system settings here, and where was it, vehicle, if I go on to, sorry, no, drive, here it is. I'm currently on the racing setting. So there's a racing setting, you got to drag across to get it. You get a G meter on here, you get your tire temperatures and the pressures on there, and your disc brake temperatures as well as your motors front and rear, the temperatures on those. You can change your regen to go super high. You can change your, this is interesting, a TQ dis. So I believe you can change the torque distribution front to rear to make it more rear wheel drive oriented or front wheel drive oriented if you decide that you want a hot hatch, let's say. You can also adjust your power steering on there, brake pedal feel. You can do simulated sounds for internal combustion or supernova, which I assume is a kind of digital electronic sound. And you can do overclock thermal management. So I do believe this car will be allowed to go on racetracks and things like that. You can put your ESC onto racing settings to switch all of that off. So I do think they're going to make this into a bit of a performance car. You can adjust your rear spoiler and things like that as well, and a few other details in there. So a cool little racing mode in here that I'm looking forward to trying. Other than that, it is the standard XPeng screen. I think you can do it split screen. There we go. You can, so you can do your maps on one side and music on the other. Same customizable toolbar, all the usual things you'd expect from an XPeng. We also get, as I said, ambient lighting, very interesting around there across the dashboard. Looks really quite cool. Again, you can do different colors in the top of the door and the bottom. We get a lot of luxurious materials, so it's soft touch materials up there. All this white stuff is, and underneath as well is soft touch. All of your door, apart from the bottom end, which is plastic, as well as the bottom of the console here. You also get kind of an interesting soft fabric material in there, so it does feel futuristic and premium. Got your silver chrome trim around the center of these twin 50-watt wireless chargers, both ventilated. Under here we get a little XPeng sign there, USB-A and USB-C socket. And do we get fragrance pots down here? Maybe not, so maybe this car doesn't come with the fragrance. Could be in the glove box. Let's pop that open, press it again, there we go. not in there. So maybe no fragrance pots on the XPeng P7. But overall, yeah, great driving position. We do get heated, ventilated and massaging seats in this car. Not sure if they're in the, yeah, you get heating in the back, heating and ventilation in the front. You get steering wheel heating as well. And you get, oh, you do get fragrance. So there are 3 fragrances in here. Not entirely sure where they are, but they're somewhere in the car. And no massage functions, it seems. No, there is a massage function. I'm pretty sure I saw that earlier, but I'm not entirely sure how to get to it. There is a massage function for these front 2 seats. Seat, massage. Yeah, there we go. So driver seat massage, and maybe the passenger seat doesn't get it. So it's much more driver focused here in the P7. The seats themselves, you can see, really quite a lovely design. You get the same OX logo, which could be actually QX possibly, on these one-piece seats here. Very stunning design, kind of leather on there, Napa leather with kind of pricked leather design, the same sort of headlamp design printed onto the seats there too. I believe they are 16-way adjustable for the front seat and the passenger seat as well, and good side bolsters. They do feel very supportive. Lovely seats. We get 23 speakers, as I mentioned, big one on the dashboard there, 2 in the doors and a couple up here in the headlining. So it is quite nice. Practical still with a bit of space, decent door pockets, and in here, oh, there's our fragrant pots in the center console. Nice deep pocket down there as well. So apart from that, I think we've got the front of the car covered. Let's check out, oh, we've got a little camera up here as well. So that's to monitor the cabin inside. We get a digital rear view mirror, I believe. Not sure where the button is to turn that on. It's actually turned off at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I saw digital rear view. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Digital rear view mirror up there. They might have to adjust that because the button's up there. It's very hard to get to, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, overall, this is quite cool. Let's check out the back seats. Now the rear seats are certainly not as exciting as the front ones. We don't get quite as many features as we got in the back of the XPeng G7, but a reasonable amount of space, at least down by my feet, even with that seat as low as it'll go. I've got a bit of foot room down there, plenty of knee room as you can see, and quite good thigh support, I would actually say, for a low down coupe style saloon. But headroom, as you can see, my hair is basically pressed up against the glass there, not the greatest headroom. That is the compromise made by this sort of very sloping, rakish rear roofline here. No place to put sort of tablets on the back of these front seats, but you do get an 8-inch screen down here at the bottom. That gives you access to your ventilation, so you can change your temperature and your fan speed. You can turn on your heated seats, and you can move this seat forwards and backwards to give yourself more legroom. If you're on this side, you can play your music on here as well. We've got Drive Fast by Hans Zimmer from the F1 movie in there. And we also get access to apps for TV and radio and other channels, a bit like YouTube, but the Chinese version here. Ventilation, twin 60-watt USB sockets, so you get not wireless charging, you get wired charging pretty quick in the back there. And other than that, that's pretty much it. We also do get an armrest, by the way, pair of cup holders, but no sort of phone charger here like we got in the G7, so not quite as practical as that car was. It is pretty comfortable in the back though. We don't get backrest angle adjustment on this car like we did on the P7 Plus and on the G7. So it's very much a sporty driver focused car, I would say, from what I've seen of the P7 so far. But it is lovely materials on here. We do get Isofix mountings, of course. They are a little bit difficult to get to, not the greatest in the world, but you can fold these seats down 40-60. Let's see how flat they go. That's pretty flat, not totally flat, but you do get a reasonable load area through there. And yeah, that's the XPeng P7. So that's it for our review of the XPeng P7. Now, just take a quick look at the angle that you're looking at. Does this car remind you of something like a Ferrari 328 from the past? Just that particular angle, I think, very much gives me a reminiscence of old historical sports cars from Italy. I think it's very cool, this car. I'm excited to see it on the road, because I do think it will look just so out of place and so unique that it'll be a bit of a treat to enjoy. Just like the Hi-Fi Z is a treat when you see one on the road today, I think this will have the same effect. I do think it will actually give XPeng quite a bit of brand exposure. People are going to want to go to the brand stores to check this out and just be interested in the way that it looks. So I think it could be a good seller. Will it sell as well as the standard P7 or the original P7? Good question. Depends on price, depends on how much excitement they can get. The P7 Plus gives you more space, and many people are still family oriented. But for those that are looking to take a little slice of Chinese automotive history with them, this may well be a car that they're going to go for. And the thing that I'm most excited about with the P7 is how it's going to drive. I really want to see what XPeng can do when they let their hair down and they put their whole heart and effort into tuning a car to be performance oriented. I think it's going to be very interesting. So XPeng, when you do the drives for this, please do it on a racetrack. I'd love to see it. They did the G6 on a racetrack. If they can do the G6 on a racetrack, they can definitely do the P7 there as well. Very iconic car this. I do think it will hold a special place in China's automotive history. Thank you very much for watching. If you do, thank you for subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up so more people can see the frankly bonkers cars coming out of China. And as ever, we'll catch you next time.